Hey everyone, welcome back to Blessings in Surprise. In today's video, I am going to be doing some deep cleaning of our washer and dryer, as well as just getting caught up on laundry and dishes and all of the normal things. And I know it's been a while since I posted a video. I apologize. We were on vacation and then we had parties going on and things like that. So I am back and ready to make new content for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like and subscribe to my channel and let's get started. So first things first today, I want to get some laundry started. This orange juice container, I just save these for random things, but this is what I use when we get down to the end of the bucket of laundry detergent, which this is homemade laundry detergent, and I will link in the description box, I'll put a link to my video on how to make that if you're interested. But anyways, when we get down to the bottom of the bucket, I pour what's left into the orange juice container so that I can mix up a new bucket before we're all the way out. Now this is a stirring stick that you can insert into a drill, which makes it really convenient to stir things in a 5-gallon bucket. I will link that for you as well. But I had a little surprise when I opened the bucket. So I had just made, well, not just, I had made my homemade laundry detergent before we went on vacation, I think, and I forgot to come back and stir it the next day. So whenever you make the detergent, you stir it while it's hot. You use really hot water to melt the soap. You stir it while it's hot, put the lid on, let it sit overnight, and then stir it again the next morning. Well, I forgot to stir it again the next morning. And I've been making this laundry detergent for years, and this has never ever happened to me before. But I guess forgetting to stir it just caused this to happen. So I have this big chunk of soap just floating on the top. So what I ended up doing is just putting it in a pot and melting it back down, and then I'm going to add it back into the bucket. And it took an extra 5 minutes, but it's fine. But like I said, that has never happened to me before. But it had been sitting there for probably a couple weeks without being stirred the second time. So even at different times when I've forgotten for a day or two, it was still fine when I went back and stirred it again. But this was like sitting there a really long time. So anyways, all I had to do was throw it on the stove, melt it back down, dump it in the bucket, and just stir the bucket again. So all was good, but I could have edited that part out, but I like to make my channel about real life, and I think you can learn a lot more from your failures than you can from your successes. And so I usually don't edit out my bloopers. I'm just like, hey, listen, this is what happens. People make mistakes, and this is how you fix it. It's no big deal. But anyways, like I said, real life. So now that that's taken care of, I'm going to start the laundry. Oh, and this little pile of loveliness, this is what my children refer to as the goop pile on our basement floor. That is where the air conditioner drains. And so every year, all summer long, we have a pile of like clear slime sitting around there. And no matter how many times we clean it up, it just comes back. So that's the official goop pile, and that's just where it is all summer. But anyways, I'm going to use some Shout. The load of laundry that I'm doing right now is our barn clothes, so they are like really dirty. I already sprayed this before I started filming because I forgot to show you the dirt stain before I started filming. But anyways, the Shout, I really like that Shout spray. It works really well. So if I have like a stain or, several stains that are kind of a smaller surface area, I'll just use that. If we have clothes that are like the entire thing is just covered in filth, then I'll just soak them in OxiClean before I put them in the wash, and that way it covers like the whole area. But I do really like the Shout. It does a really good job of getting stains out. Look at this shirt. This is what I mean. Like when you have a shirt like that, it's just like, all right, well, you can spot treat it, but like the whole shirt is disgusting. Like I said, these are barn clothes. So this is stuff that is meant to get dirty. And I don't go crazy trying to get every stain out of this stuff because again, we're going to put it on and go back in the barn. So it's just going to get dirty. We have separate clothes that we keep just for the barn and just for dirty chores around the farm. So like, I'm not super concerned about getting all the stains out. And that one pair of jeans, though, that I was scrubbing, those aren't necessarily barn jeans. They were just jeans that I had on when we went to pick up our new baby goats. And, you know, the baby goats got a little nervous and made a mess on me. So anyway, so that's why I was spraying those. But you'll see I'm just going to spray down a couple things, scrub a couple of the big stains out. But mostly I'm just going to add some OxiClean directly to the washer. And that usually helps. It works better if you soak stuff ahead of time, but again, like I said, I'm not concerned about getting every speck of dirt out of these clothes, because 5 seconds after we put them back on, they're gonna look just like that again. So it's no big deal. So as I said, I'm gonna just throw some OxiClean into the washer because I'm being lazy right now and I didn't really have time to soak everything. The white vinegar is what I use for fabric softener. So you'll see me pour that into the middle where we put the fabric softener. I'm setting the washer on heavy with an extra rinse, and I do actually go back in a second here and change the setting to hot water because I just forgot to do that when I was setting it the first time. Yeah, here I go. I'm changing it to hot because when we have like really dirty stuff, I do like to wash it on hot water. Even though I know the colors are going to bleed in there, you can see that's like the filth that is coming out of the washing machine while it's running from all those barn clothes. Just wanted to show you that. But anyways, while that is going, I have lots of laundry to fold. I am very behind in folding laundry. So I kind of turned my dresser top into a little folding station. I used to fold clothes on my bed, but I have to bend over farther to fold them on the bed, and you'll see the way that I fold them, it involves a lot of bending over. Oh, I wanted to show you this. So this is awesome. I love this jewelry stand. I got this from Amazon and I will link it for you, but I just love how much storage it has, how it hangs everything so you can see everything all up front, and everything looks so pretty hanging there, and there's room on the bottom for rings and stuff like that. So I am just using my trusty Pledge furniture spray to dust this off before I start folding on here so I don't get the clean clothes all dusty. But anyways, oh, I think I was saying I used to fold clothes on my bed, but the bed sits down lower, and I use this like the Marie Kondo style of folding. I'm going to show you here. You just fold it like when you have a shirt, fold it into thirds. Basically, you try to make a rectangle out of it, and then you're gonna fold it in half and then fold it in thirds again. And then you end up with like this little package. It looks like a little envelope or something. And you can stand them up in your drawer like file cabinet style. And I'll show you when I put those away, but it really keeps things a lot more organized. So I do that with my clothes in the drawers. Just so you can see everything all at once and there's nothing on the bottom of a pile that you can't see. It does take a little more time to fold it that way, but I definitely think it's worth it to be able to see everything in your drawer all at once and have it nice and organized. So anyways, folding that way, I was like bending over a lot when it was on the bed and it was just hurting my back. So I decided I need something up higher, and the dresser seemed to work. So that is why I started doing that.
Waiting for sunshine. Ooh, waiting for sunshine.
So this is what I was talking about file cabinet style, how the shirts just stand up in a row and you can see everything. So now I'm going through my laundry that I need to fold, and after that I'm going to be folding the rest of my husband's laundry, and then I'll be moving on to some other chores around the house. Okay, so I'm switching the laundry into the dryer. I'm just showing you. I use the Bounce Free and Gentle sheets. I would love to use something more natural for a fabric softener in the dryer or whatever you call that, like a dryer sheet, static sheet, whatever you guys want to call it. But let me know in the comments if you guys have ever used like the wool dryer balls or if you use reusable dryer sheets made from cloth or things like that. I'm interested in doing something a little more natural for the dryer, but for now, that's what I have, and I am open to suggestions, so let me know. You can see I've opened the windows now. We have been having the craziest weather in Pennsylvania. Like, this has been the weirdest spring and summer ever. We live in Western Pennsylvania, and in our exact location, and it was different. I mean, if you go 5 minutes up the road, it's different depending on who you're talking to. But where we live, we went through the worst drought I can ever remember. And I can't believe that I even still have anything living in my garden at this point. I mean, it's only by the grace of God Himself that anything is alive in my garden. But we have well water on our property. And so during the drought, I really didn't want to use what was left of our well water to water the garden because I didn't want to not be able to take a shower or wash our dishes. You know, I didn't want the house to run out of water. So we were literally just like praying, you know, that things would survive, but miraculously they did. So I just harvested a whole bunch of peas last night. And we have tomatoes growing. We have peppers, eggplants, all kinds of squash, beans, and lettuce, kale, cucumbers, spinach, and then we have some watermelon and just all kinds of things that are still alive. There's a lot of stuff that I actually meant to plant that I didn't even get around to yet, but I don't know. It's the beginning of July. Maybe I can still throw some stuff in, but we'll see. We might just be planning for next year at this point. So this is my dirty kitchen. We had a party the day before. The random toothbrush on the counter is because I forgot when we had the party, I left my toothbrush out on the counter in the bathroom. And so now I'm like, okay, I have to throw it away because I don't know who touched it with dirty hands or whatever. So this jar of eggs, this was back in 2020. We had a whole bunch of extra eggs when we were quarantining because normally I would give them to friends and family. But when we were quarantining for the COVID outbreak or whatever at the beginning of 2020, we weren't seeing anybody. So I had all these extra eggs and I learned about water glassing eggs. And you can Google that. There's some YouTube videos on it. So I decided to try it. It's a method of preserving eggs that they're supposed to be able to last for like 2 years or something. I totally forgot that I had those. I was cleaning out a closet in the basement and I found them on the floor and I'm like, oh my goodness, these are like over 3 years old at this point. I completely forgot they were there. So we decided to crack one open at the party this past weekend just to see. Oh, quick side note. I want to tell you about these lights. Okay. So the under the cabinet lights, I will link these for you. I got them at Walmart. They were like 15 bucks and they work so well. They are the perfect amount of light to give me while I'm working because it was so dark under those cabinets. Just that's like in the corner of the kitchen where there's no natural light really hitting that spot. And this, you can change the colors and whatever. I just keep it on white because I just want it for task lighting. But we got a quote from an electrician to put lights in under the cabinets, and it was just astronomical. I mean, it was going to be probably like 1,500 bucks or something for the amount of lights that we wanted under there. And I got those lights at Walmart for $15. So they work perfectly. They've been up for, quite a while. I can't even remember when I put them up. But they work great, and they stay sticking on the wall. I had to put like one hook in the wall, like right at the beginning where the heavy end is, where it has like the plug attached. But other than that, they've stayed stuck to the wall, even though they're like above the stove. I was afraid the heat and the steam was going to make them fall off the wall, but they really haven't. So I highly recommend those. And I can't say enough about them. I'm so glad we went that route. We saved thousands of dollars. But anyways, I'm just scrubbing down the countertops. Before I do the dishes, I like to scrub off all the countertops so that I can put the clean dishes onto the counter to air dry. And I just use a mixture of vinegar and water to clean. It is so cheap. It works so well. You know, I've tried a bunch of different cleaners, and I feel like some of them, they just leave like sticky residues. Some of them smell bad. Some of them, like, they're so expensive and so unnecessary. You know, like vinegar cleans better than anything I've tried, and it's so cheap. So I just use that to clean. And I will link that spray bottle for you because I really like that spray bottle. It's a glass spray bottle. And because I'm using something acidic like vinegar, I didn't want to use plastic because I feel like that would just leach chemicals out of the plastic bottle. So I wanted a glass bottle, but I love that it has the silicone base, so you don't have to be real gentle when you set it down or anything. It's not going to crack, and it doesn't slide around or whatever. But anyways, I like that spray bottle a lot. I have multiples of them, so I'll link that for you too. So I'm just loading the dishwasher right now, getting everything in here, and then I'm going to hand wash the stuff that doesn't fit. But I like to leave my dishes on the counter after I hand wash them. Like, some people will dry them and put them away right away, but I don't like to do that because I feel like you can never get them completely dry with a towel. Like, they're always still just a little bit wet, and I don't want to put them into the cabinet wet, especially those serving bowls that I don't use very often. Oh, this magnet I'll link for you too. I got that on Amazon, and that is so helpful when I'm trying to help my family know whether or not to put their dirty stuff in there. But anyways, so yeah, I like to leave it on the counter because I feel like it doesn't ever get all the way dry when you're hand drying it. And also, like, why would you hand dry it when it's just going to dry by itself anyways? I mean, I feel like there are only so many hours in a day, and you really need to prioritize your time. So it's like, all right, I could spend, you know, I don't know, 20 minutes hand drying all of this stuff, or I could just walk away and do something else. And when I come back, they'll be dry already. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna bother wasting my time. But anyways, so those two products that you see sitting at the top right of my sink there, that little brush with the stand and the mason jar with the soap pump, I'll link those for you too. Those are something I really love. I have transferred all of our hand soap and dish soap into mason jars. And I like that system a whole lot better. It's a lot easier to fill them. I think they look pretty. You can see when you're running low. And those pumps come clean really easily when you wipe them with like vinegar. Obviously, that's what I use. Just wipe them with vinegar. And they come clean really easily. And then that little scrub brush, I love that because it's just so convenient, especially if you're just washing like one big dish. You don't have to run a whole sink full of soapy water. The soap's already in the brush. You just wet the dish and scrub it down. Oh yeah, I'll link those scissors for you too because they're amazing. I love those scissors. But anyways, I just jumped on the bandwagon for the Scrub Mommy sponge. So I would watch all these YouTubers have them, and I'm like, it's just such a trendy thing, you know, it's kind of dumb. Like, why does everyone feel like they need to have these sponges? And so I was on vacation, like I mentioned, and the place where we were staying, they had a Scrub Mommy sponge in the sink for us to use. And when I used it to wash the dishes, I thought, oh my goodness, like, this is amazing. I do really like this sponge. Like, it worked so well getting the food off. And the only thing that I don't, like, it doesn't work well for is my mason jars. On the lids, I write with Sharpie when I can my food. And it doesn't get the Sharpie off of the lids. So that's why I ran and grabbed that steel wool, because that gets the Sharpie right off of the lids real easily. So that's the only thing about the Scrub Mommy that I didn't like, was it did not get the Sharpie off. But everything else, it works really well, and it holds soap well, and it's, you know, it's not like one of those sponges that just disintegrates in your hands. So I do actually like them and would recommend them, as much as I thought it was just some trendy, stupid thing that everybody thought they had to have. Now I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to start buying these.
Take me home, take me on a ride. I got a good feeling about the colors lighting up your eyes. Take me home, take me to the sky. I got a good feeling. Tell me the only thing you are is mine now. Na, 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 na.
So now that the dishes are done, I'm just going to wipe down this countertop where the dirty dishes were sitting. And I'm actually going to leave the soapy water in the sink because it's almost dinner time at this point. And I figured I might want that water for after dinner to wash some dishes, so I'll just leave it there. But this is the before, just to remind you of the filth that was there before I started. And then the after. Woo! I just figured out how to use these fun little sparkly effects on here. I love it. So this is the after. Like I said, I just let this stuff air dry because I'm not going to waste my time drying it when I'm not going to be happy with the finished product anyways, and it's going to get nasty being wet inside the cabinet. So anyways, that'll just air dry there, but everything else is nice and shiny and sparkly. Okay, so my washer recently has been leaving stains on things, and I don't mean not getting stains out of my clothes, but I mean actually like putting stains onto the clothes that weren't there before. So I decided it is time to clean the washer out, give it a nice good clean. I found this a fresh laundry cleaner, so I'm gonna try this out, but I really don't know if I recommend it or not, and I'll show you why once I put this in. But it's just a little tablet you stick in there. You set your washer on the biggest setting, on the hottest water possible. And if you have a cleaning setting, that's what you use. If not, it'll give you instructions on what to use. But that's what I bought. That's what my washer itself recommends. It has a whole setting that says clean it with Afresh. So that's what I did. And obviously I did that after I washed the barn clothes because I was not going to wash barn clothes right after I cleaned the washer. So anyways, when I did that, this is what was left. And you can see there are still like stains all over everything. And there's a whole bunch of dirt in the bottom. Now it did say that you're going to need to wipe out the washer after it runs. But I wasn't expecting it to be so dirty when it was done. It really didn't get any stains out of the actual washer basin itself. Like, look at that. That's still filthy. And I thought, like, this really didn't clean anything. So I ended up scrubbing that all down by hand. But maybe what that's intended to do is to, like, clean the mechanics of it, like clean the parts that you can't see or can't get to. So maybe that's where all that dirt came from and ended up in the washer bin afterwards. So it's possible it was actually doing something productive, but I was looking around and I'm like, you know, the outside of this washer is pretty nasty too. So I'm just going to scrub down the entire washer, give it a good deep clean. Now, learn from my mistakes, people. Once again, learn from my mistakes. I did this in the complete opposite order that I should have done it in. I started by wiping out the basin, and then I went to the outside and like dirt kept falling back into the basin after I cleaned it. And I'm like, oh, this is so ridiculous. Like I ended up cleaning the basin like 3 times because I kept knocking dirt back in. So when you do this at home, start on the outside, start at the top, work your way down. Don't do what I do. Do as I say, don't not as I do, right? So I took that toothbrush that I was like, you know, I have to do something with this now, just throw it away. I took that and tried to scrub that little agitator, but it wasn't really getting anything off. So I switched over to my trusty steel wool. Those little scrub bud things, like I got them from Amway, which is like an online direct marketing firm or whatever. I used to work for them and I fell in love with these little scrub buds when I worked for them. And honestly, I don't even know if you can buy them like online anymore because it's been so many years since I bought them. I stocked up on those before I quit that job because I just loved them so much. But they get everything off. Like they are so good at scrubbing. So that's what I used, and I'm just using my standard vinegar and water mixture. I sprayed it down, scrubbed it with my little steel wool, and all of those stains came right off with that steel wool. So I actually did get that clean. But again, I was kind of expecting the washer cleaner to do that for me, but like I said, maybe it's actually cleaning the parts of the washer that you can't access, and that might be what it's for. If you guys have used that, let me know. If that's what it's supposed to do, then I guess it did its job. But if it was supposed to clean the basin, it definitely did not. So let me know if you guys have used it and what you think about it. But anyways, I'm just going to keep scrubbing this all down and wiping it down with the Microfoth, yeah, that was great. With the microfiber cleaning cloth afterwards, and that got it really, really clean. So here's what it looks like after I scrubbed it, and you can see all those stains are gone. It's nice and white and shiny, and I'm really happy with the outcome. And hopefully we won't be getting any more stains on our clothing now that it's all clean. So like I said, I did this in the definite reverse order, but right now I'm just grabbing Q-tips and I'm spraying the Q-tips with my vinegar solution to get into those really hard to reach places that I can't get my fingers into with the microfiber cloth. And I'm going to use those Q-tips to get like all in all the different creases in the lid and underneath the lid and all that. And there was so much dirt under there. Now, I'll be honest, I don't even know. I might have cleaned this washer, like deep cleaned this washer. I mean, like getting all in all these little crevices, maybe like once since we moved in this house, which was almost 5 years ago. Like, let me just be honest with you people. I am not Martha Stewart, okay? Like, I do not clean things that are not a priority because I just don't have the time. I have 3 kids. My husband works full time. He actually just completed a doctorate. And so he had been writing a dissertation while working full time and, you know, taking classes in the evenings and things like that. So, I mean, we're just crazy busy. We live on a farm. We have animals. I have a huge garden. I do a lot of canning and preserving. I try to cook from scratch as much as possible. Our kids are involved in a ton of extracurricular activities, and guess who gets to drive them everywhere whenever they need to go. So I just really don't have the time to do this kind of stuff on a regular basis. And I'm okay with that because when I look back at my life, I'm not going to regret like, oh my goodness, I really wish I would have cleaned underneath the lid of my washer more often. You know, like nobody cares. I figured while I'm deep cleaning the basin, might as well do this because I'm already here. It won't take that long. And it hasn't been done in 5 years. So, you know, I'll spare the 20 minutes that it's going to take me. Look at that. That's gross. Just to get that nastiness out. And I do want to be a good steward of what we have been blessed with. And that is important. And you don't want to let your belongings get trashed. And, you know, you don't want to have to replace things that you wouldn't otherwise have had to replace had you taken care of them. So every once in a while, I will do these projects where I like deep clean something. But again, I am not shaming myself for like not using Q-tips to clean underneath the lid of my washer, okay? So you shouldn't either. So if your washer is disgusting, I do not judge you, my friend. I don't. So speaking of things that I never clean, or almost never clean, I was thinking about doing a video on areas of your house that you forget to clean. So what do you guys want? Would you like to see something like that? A video about just like things that you never think to clean, but they're probably really gross if you look at them. Let me know in the comments down below. But like I said, I really try to prioritize my time, and I want to put my family first. And my priorities in a day are make sure there's food on the table, make sure that everyone has clean dishes, drive people where they need to be, get everyone to their appointments, and just be there when they need help. And that is really what my main priorities are in a day. So if things like this don't get done, I really don't care. Like I said, I was already cleaning most of it, so I figured, I'll just do this now because, it'll probably be 5 years before I do this again, so might as well do a good job while I'm here. But again, the priorities really are my kids, and they're growing up so fast, and I swear I'm going to blink and they'll all be gone. They'll all be out of the house. My son is 16. My daughters are 14 and 12. And my son just started taking college classes. Actually, he's doing a dual enrollment college and high school program. And so it's like, wow, like he's already in college. Like he didn't even leave yet and he's already a college student. So time is just going so fast. And I think to myself, these are the things that I'll have the time to do when there are no kids in the house, but while I have my kids, I want to spend time with them. So that's not, this isn't something that I really want to spend my time doing every day. But you could see I had to go back in and clean the basin again because, like I said, should have done that last in the first place instead of knocking all the dirt back down. But here we go, the finished product. Nice and sparkly and shiny, nice and clean. I still need to wash the dryer on the left. That's pretty gross over there, but I am going to scrub that down. And I kind of learned from my mistakes on the dryer and started at the top at least. I think what I did wrong with the dryer is I forgot to pull the lint trap out first before I wiped off the top of the dryer. So of course I still did that wrong too. Like I said, I am no Martha Stewart. I am not a good housekeeper. That's just not who I am. I never have been. And that's not where my priorities lie, but I'm doing what I can and whatever, it's fine because even if I didn't clean this at all on the outside, like nobody would have died. So it's fine. But anyways, now I'm going to scrub down the dryer. This was a lot faster of a process because the inside of the dryer wasn't actually dirty at all. Because if you think about it, you're only putting clean clothes in there. So it really wasn't dirty on the inside. I just basically needed to wipe off the outside and just like wipe down the door. But of course, like I said, I wiped down the top before I pulled the lint trap out. So then I had to go back and wipe down the top again. Maybe one day I will learn, like just whatever. I don't even care. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys do? Like, have you ever done that where you've cleaned something and then just did something really stupid and had to end up cleaning it all over again? Let me know in the comments if you guys have done that. Hey, if you have stuck with me to the end of this video, I really want to thank you guys for hanging out with me and supporting my channel. And I hope you got some enjoyment out of this, listening to the ramblings of a crazy woman. But I hope this is motivating for you, motivates you to get some stuff done around the house, and also helps you to realize that it's okay if you don't. It really is. You know, just spend time with your family and enjoy it while you can. But during those little minutes that you have where nobody needs you, just hurry up and get something done. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I will try to get another video to you very soon. Watch for some more content in some different areas, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.